Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin Falvey, Editor-in-Chief of Boating, and this is Boating Roundtable. And today, I'm happy to have aboard Formula Boats. Joining us from Decatur, Indiana, is Danny Porter, who's R&D Manager, and Pat Laux, who is Operations Manager. And they've got a great new boat, the 500 Super Sport crossover they're going to talk about. But first, guys, tell us a little bit about the history of Formula. It's your 65th anniversary this year, isn't it?
Yeah, our 65th year this year. Formula was founded in 1962. My grandfather, he bought Formula boats in 1976. And 1988, we moved all production here to this facility. And 100% family owned and operated. And
it was originally the company when your grandfather bought it. It was a Miami-based company, I believe, or something like that. It was part of the Thunderbolt Row. I mean, you guys had a really
Don Aronow actually started the company back then. Offshore performance heritage, and something we've definitely kept throughout the years. We make them up in Indiana, but we still build them to go offshore and be high performing machines.
That's right. And so, Danny, you're part of the family, the Porter family, and it's a family-owned company. And what is that like?
So, part of the third generation now. So my grandfather now, he's the chairman emeritus, and then my Uncle Scott's president. And then I have a few other uncles and aunt, and they're all kind of in the main leadership positions. And then now there's 6 of us, third generation. And so we're all in various departments throughout the company. And we've just been working here ever since we were in diapers, and it's just kind of neat now to continue that legacy.
That's right. And Pat Laux, what does an operation manager do? And how long have you been with Formula? And should I address you as Formula Boats or Thunderbird Products? How do you like to be formally addressed, by the way?
I would say Formula Boats is kind of taken over there. So, I've been with the company for 39 years. And operations manager is such an exciting job. I'm in charge of manufacturing. I'm in charge of product development and engineering, and also the facility and all the government compliance and safety and all that type of stuff. So it's a very exciting job.
Well, you've just had some very exciting news, and you have this new boat, which I had the privilege to get aboard just last week, the 500 Super Sport crossover, or SSC. And I'm going to let you guys talk about it. But folks, this boat is spectacular. And maybe you could talk a little bit about the way you had to keep it secret for the past 5 years and the development with a certain motor company. If you guys want to go riff on that, I'm sure everyone would love to hear it.
Yeah, I'll start out with that because in my 39 years, it is the most top secret covert operation project we've ever had here at Formula. And for 2 years, we were, in a sense, living a lie because we were telling our employees and our families, we got a new boat coming out. It's 50 feet, and it's going to get, 5 450 horse Mercs, wink, wink, and we knew all along we weren't doing that.
We ran an article in the last issue with a rendering with the 5 Mercs.
we couldn't spill the beans. We signed some serious NDAs and decided that if it leaked out, it wasn't going to leak out from our company. So we kept a lid on it, and we even had T-shirts made up that have five motors on the back. But so those would be collector's items because the boat indeed has the 4 600 V12s, and it's been a great project, but a fun project because of the secrecy. That doesn't always happen because you're not always building a boat with brand new, never heard of motors, but we certainly did on this one, and it was fun, very fun.
Danny, does the invention of such a motor, development of such a motor, how does that tie into the development of such a great boat? I mean, are they tied at the hip, or are they separate entities?
Yeah, absolutely tied together. So we knew with this power, 4 600 horsepower motors on the back there, we had to design the boat to handle that kind of horsepower. We were talking about it yesterday. This is the highest horsepower Formula ever built. And so we had to, take everything through the design stage, knowing we're going to have this much horsepower, we got to build the boat to be able to handle that. Mm-hmm. And since we did that, from day one going into it, when we got the boat down in Florida and, on the water, we've actually had some guys take it out in the Gulf now after Lake X, and they said the boat's rock solid. And so just knowing what we knew for the past several years, we were able to, plan ahead for it and execute the boat we have.
You said you've been on the boat, and
Yes,
you
at Lake
saw
X.
the engine. The engine cowlings were painted, as you know. And I'll just tell you a quick story there.
Sure.
They got painted so secretly. I never saw them. They came in, they left. I think 3 people saw those boats or those cowlings painted, and that was it, because we did it in very undercover fashion.
And of course, you do a lot. You do your paint. You have a paint booth and stuff at Formula. You do a lot of painting, and you have painted hulls, painted graphics. So, what employees painted those cowlings? Like a crew that was set for retirement, so that they would be out of the what? You do a payoff like they do with the CIA. You did the job. Now you disappear.
We gave them the speech and explained to them how covert this operation is, and we told them, you just can't talk about it, and you're involved in something very special. And please don't tell your wife, your kids, or anybody what you're doing, because we're keeping this thing under wraps. And they did. So we got through it.
It definitely handled great when I ran. Double step design, another one from the drawing board of John Adams. Maybe you talk a little bit about Mr. Adams and his participation in the success of Formula boats over the years.
Yeah, John's he's been our exclusive designer for over 50 years. He came with Formula when the Porter family bought it in 1976. He was already working for Formula down in Miami. And what can I say? He's the best. John likes to think of his designs as being evolutionary, not revolutionary, a term that he likes to use. And what he means by that is he wants the Formula models, the smallest to the largest, to share a bloodline. And I think it does, because I've been on the water. I lived in Miami for a while. We had a plant down there, and you could tell a Formula from a distance, and that's a good thing. We like that aspect of it.
That's great. So tell us now, fellas, about this new boat, the 500 Super Sport crossover. Who's it for, and what's its mission? Can I put that question to you like that?
Yeah, I'll take that. We fully expect some of our current customers to move up to this boat. We've done quite well with our 430 and even 400 and 380, similar type boat, SSCs for sure. So we expect that. We'll happily trade people out of their other brand boats and put them in one of ours. The 500 would be a good one. So we'll be glad to do that. And we also noticed a trend in the 430, some people coming down from bigger boats, wanting something a little less full of hassles, be it crews or captains and all that goes with a big boat. And we expect that to happen even more so on the 500.
I bet. I mean, with the especially with the improvements to the joystick system and the controls, the upgrades there, it was really a pleasure around the dock, and those new engines' ability to rotate the gear cases at 45 degrees in opposition really provided some grunt spinning that boat around. It was really marvelous. Really was marvelous.
I would say that the 500 SSC is an evolution of John Adams' design, of the Porter family's leadership, and even the employees' dedication to quality. It all came together on the 500 SSC. We couldn't be happier.
So guys, what are some of the really cool features that you're really proud of about this new 500 SSC?
Yeah, so beyond the new horsepower, new 600 V12 engines from Mercury, the main new feature is the salon area. And it's a fully enclosed area up in the cockpit that has 2 air conditioning, also heater units that fully enclosed. There's a galley up there, 65-inch 4K TV. But also, if you want to open it up, you can open up our 10-foot wide sunroof and lower down a power window, open up a door in the back, and be fully open to the elements. That's kind of the main new area of the boat. It's also just got, Seakeeper 9, just due to the size of the boat, we need a larger gyro stabilizer.
That's a gyro. I was going to say, just make sure our audience, most of them know, but it's a gyro stabilizer, the Seakeeper. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. 16 kilowatt diesel generator, 650 gallons of fuel. We also have an optional sea bob off the back, kind of a neat water toy. We think the the clientele for this kind of boat may want something like that. So we've got that in the back with a quick charger. Also, just due to these engines, and you talked earlier about them no longer rotating side to side, we were able to enlarge the platform area at the back, and something you don't see with many other outboard builders. But we definitely have a big platform area back there. We have what we call our sports station that you can hang out at the back of the boat, and just have a whole separate area of the boat you can hang out at.
Right, and you actually had on either port and starboard to either side of the 4 outboards, there was a very generously sized. The platform extended to the length of the outboards aft, so you're really beyond the motors, or on either side. It was pretty nice. I didn't try the swim ladder out, but I'm sure boarding.
Yeah, we've got dual swim ladders, one off each side, and then the boat is about another 3.5 feet longer with those extensions back there.
That was great. And then it's still below decks while you have a bow. The bow was, the side access, the port side access to the bow, and it was a lovely lounge up there. I mean, really room for a crowd. I mean, it's 2 things. In my view, and correct me, it's room for a crowd, but also now you have like a cockpit area and a salon area and a bow area. And you didn't even talk about below decks yet. So if I'm entertaining my guests, a group, just like in your home or in our homes, we could have some people in all these different areas, and different groups, subgroups of my group are, enjoying, 4 people here, 3 people there, 5 people here. It's a nice separation, it seems like, for entertaining and having people aboard for a long day.
Yeah, we call them our smart zones. Each area, you can have your own self-contained gathering, or just whatever you're feeling at that moment. Like you were saying, go out to the bow. Everyone can just hang out in the open. There's also a sunshade you can have overhead. We also have the stereo system is separate zones as well, and so people can listen to different things in different areas. And then the cabin. So down there, we also have a aft stateroom with queen bed back there. We also have a head with a separate shower, and we also have accent lighting down there, a galley down below. So yes, a lot of different places for people to hang out.
Now, Formula has also built a line of the PC line of performance cruisers over the years. I mean, a full-on express cruiser cabin boats with V-hull, John Adams type performance. They've always been exciting as well as commodious. So now we have this trend overall in the boating industry of open boats, and now you have a 50-footer it's a bow rider essentially, or in one way of looking at it. And would you guys care to comment on that, on how the market how boaters demands and expectations for a boat? I mean, 10 years ago, who would have thought you'd be building a 50-foot open bowed boat? This is what I'm saying. Did you guys think that? Maybe you guys saw it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, what we've sensed has happened is people seem to have less time for about anything, really. And a term has been coined around here that some people are moment boaters. They aren't typically taking their boat out for 2 weeks at a time like they once did. And we recognized that and thought, well, okay, they may not need this accommodations to sleep 6 people, because they're never going to do that. What they're doing is going out when it's nice, and probably not if it isn't, going out when it's a nice day and going out for the day, having a great time, and coming back. And that's day boating. And who are we to tell a person how to use their boat? If that's how they choose to use it, we'll build one that does the job for them. And we got real good at day boat building back in the 90s, starting with our 280 Sunsport.
Right. And
I've done a lot of those ever since. And here we have like you said, a 50-foot day boat that does a fantastic job of entertaining people and going out. Really, you can go out in not so nice weather with that boat because it's fully enclosed and capable, but it's going to be used for a big day boat, and we know that, and that's fine.
That's right. It absolutely is fine. And so what goes into, why don't you maybe refresh people's memory or inform some of the audiences about the construction of a form. We've talked about the design. You have a Fast 3 Tech hull, which is your double-stepped hull design. It's fast, efficient. I must say, I've run a lot of boats in my job. I'm fortunate to do that. Your stepped hulls are very user-friendly. There's no big learning curve to get behind the helm of a Formula. The boat's very safe. What about construction? Is there anything unique or particular that you're proud of about the construction of this new boat or Formulas in general?
the 500 is benefiting from all the step talls before it. And I was involved in the step tall testing we started doing in the mid-90s. And I'll be honest with you, we had step tall designs that ran faster than what we ended up bringing to market.
Mm-hmm.
But we were so concerned about stability as well that I would report back how fast some of the configurations were, but I would admit it's a driver's boat, and I don't know that I like that. So we would make adjustments to the steps and some of the areas underneath and tweak it until we got the stability we really wanted. And yeah, we scrubbed a little bit of speed, but we walked away from the ultimate speed to gain the stability that we knew we wanted for our customers. And that's just how we're going to do it. And no regrets. Our boats are stable. They are fast. They could be faster, but I don't think that's what people really have to have. They want the safety
Right.
and stability that we have in our step talls, and we've been doing it that way ever since. So the 500 is our best one, which is great.
It was really thrilling to ride, but fingertip control. And I wouldn't hesitate to hand the helm over to, I don't know if I'd give it to the first day boater, but a relatively inexperienced boater could take the helm of that boat and with confidence. Maybe we could tell the folks about what makes a formula special. What's the, we can talk about fiberglass and we can talk about design and we can talk about the features. What about the intangibles? Is there anything you'd like to comment on with that?
That's a great question that I'll answer this way. In categorized fashion, it's the plant, it's the product, and it's the people. This plant was designed to build boats. It's 575,000 square feet. The layout allows for a nice, efficient flow. It makes sense when you give a tour. All the boats go in the same direction, and people get it pretty easily. We've got, 7 test tanks, 9 paint booths, 18 gel coat areas. I mean, we're set up to build boats and do it right. And another thing that was done originally with the facility was Vic Porter demanded that the facility not be a steel box. So he spent a ton of money having windows installed in the facility as we built it, all the way around. And that's not lost on the employees. They really appreciate looking out like they did Monday when it snowed all day mm-hmm. and seeing the outdoors, whether it's raining, snowing, or just a beautiful sunny day. They do, and they tell me that. The employees tell me, we got people that work on the east end of our big building that tell me, we just love seeing the sun come up in the morning. And if you didn't have windows, you wouldn't be able to see that.
I bet. And I can just say, I've toured pretty much many boat plants, and I haven't been to your facility in about a decade, actually. So I've got to make a trip to Decatur soon. But you're right. Most boat plants are, as you say, a steel box or windowless. They're windowless, very industrial factory. And that would make I would think, would make a difference to someone working.
It makes a difference. It's hard to measure, but it does make a difference. We're convinced of it. And that's for the employees. Now, when we give tours for clients, it gets even better because they're pretty impressed when they get here, and we don't disappoint when we get them in the building and they walk through, and the flow of the factory makes sense to them. They kind of see boats handcrafted before their eyes, and that's rewarding for them. They walk away a lot more educated on how boats are made than they were when they got here because on the east end of our building, the raw materials are coming in. And on the west end of our building, 1,100 feet long, is finished product. And in an hour or so tour, you get a feel for how that boat got built in that building. So that works well for us too. So I mentioned plant, the product. I mean, I'll go back to John Adams on that. And I mentioned before, he's iconic in the industry as far as I'm concerned, and he's a big part of the boat's magic because he's been very innovative over the years, and certainly gave us great designs that we've had to do the rest to in terms of executing those designs and holding the quality that the Porter family has stood for all this time. And then you get down to the people, whether it's John Adams or the Porter family or our employees. That combination has worked out so well for us. We wouldn't change a thing. I mean, in the employee side of things, we're blessed with very low turnover. That's very important. If you're trying to build extreme quality products, if you're always training people because you have such a high turnover rate, and some companies do, I hear war stories from other boat companies that terrify me. I'm very fortunate. We don't have that issue here. Maybe it's the Midwest culture. Maybe it's the way we treat our people. I don't know, but we've got a great thing going here, and that culture is part of how Formula ends up being special as well. Just the people, they know what their mission is to build quality boats, and they do a great job with that.
Well, there's no question about the quality of the boats. So we got about 30 seconds. Danny Porter, putting you on the spot, head of R&D. Can you reveal what's going on with Formula? What might we expect beyond this 500 SSC?
Yeah, well, development never stops. We're always working on the next thing. Can't really share, unfortunately, with you what we got going on, but just know that everything we do, we want to take our product to the next level. Keep our quality high, but always have performance in mind as well. So just stay tuned, and I think you guys are going to like what we have coming out next.
All right. Well, Danny Porter, Pat Laux, thank you so much for joining us today. Folks, check out the links down in the comments section, and you'll find links to formulaboats.com where you can learn more about Formula Boats and the 500 SSC, and look for our review of the 500 SSC coming soon to Boating Magazine. For Boating Roundtable, I'm Kevin Falvey.